Pests and diseases in pimento. Pimento. The plant of a pimento is a small branched plant which is mostly erect and is perennial herbaceous shrub. It can grow up to 30 to 80 centimeters tall. The leaves are alternate, solitary or paired. Approximately the petiole grows up to 4 to 7 centimeters and the leaf blade is oblong and ovate in shape. The fruit are heart-shaped berries that can reach up to 7 to 10 centimeters long and 5 to 7 centimeters wide. The coloration of the peppers are usually green when young and turn to a bright red as soon as they mature. In variation or in transition of these peppers, you may observe a yellowish or orangish color. In this part in Trinidad and Tobago, pimento is mostly used as seasoning, where it is incorporated with other fresh herbs such as celery, shadowbenny, and chive, and used fresh or green as seasoning when cooking or preparing various meals and dishes. The pimento is utilized for its nutritional value. It is very beneficial and has high nutritional value. It contains vitamins C, B6, K, A, also including copper and amino acids. Amino acids include leucine, isoleucine, and lysine. The nutritional value of pimento is very, very useful. It is important. It aids in many things. It aids in helping with treatment of cancer, allows proper growth, supports skin health and cell growth. It also helps alleviate restless leg syndrome, prevents anemia, protects eye health, and prevents internal bleeding. Pimento is a very, very, very good crop. It has many medicinal use and is used in many dishes around Trinidad and Tobago. Now we are going to be focusing on pests and disease in pimento. A pest is, however, an organism which can cause injury or death to a plant or crop. In respects to pimento, we would be observing mites. A pest can cause reduced yields of the plants. If a pest hinders a plant in any way, the yield of that plant will be reduced. Reduced growth and performance of that plant may also occur due to injuries caused by the pest. A disease is defined as an abnormal growth or a dysfunction of the plant or crop. It is normally due to a disturbance in the normal process of the plant, which can be due to a disease. Now, mites in pimento, the scientific name for mites is Tetranychida species, SPP. Mites are less than 1 millimeter in size. They normally live on the underside of the leaf in the pimentos, and they have biting and sucking mouth parts. That is how they do their damage to the plants, or injury as you may call it, which may affect photosynthesis of the plant because the leaves are being damaged. Surface area of the chlorophyll will be lessened or reduced, so therefore reducing photosynthesis. They suck chlorophyll from the leaves also. This can be very, very, very bad for the crop. Symptoms assisted in observing or recognizing or identifying whether mites is present in the pimento crops is you would observe curled or crimped leaves. It may be crinkled. The appearance of the leaf may be crinkled. It also you can observe in severe cases yellowing occurs in the developing stages. And if you observe the leaf properly, the leaf curves or curls upwards. This is due to the mites. Now, management of mites can be very simple. You can use water to wash them away in the form of sprinklers, which is very useful with overhead watering. Although they are on the underside of the leaf, water or sprinklers will really help in eradicating or managing the mites in the pimento crop. Some biological controls, such as introduction of a pest, introduction of an organism which doesn't bring harm to the crop but targets the mites. So in this instance, a natural enemy of the mite, which could be ladybugs, which would help get rid of the mites but yet not bring harm to the crop. Use of chemicals can also be implemented. Chemicals such as miticides and acaricides can be used to eradicate or get rid or manage the mites in the pimento crop. Disease affecting pimentos can be anthracnose, and the scientific name for anthracnose is Calectotrichum spp, which usually causes withering and death of plant tissues in the crop. It can also be causing wilting. Now, it is commonly known to infect the crop at its shoots, its developing shoot stage, and the leaves as well as the fruits can be affected by the anthracnose. They can cause spots or lesions on the leaves of the crop. It can also be observed on the stems and fruits of the plants. So if you observe sunken spots on the pimento leaves, stems, or fruits, this can simply mean that anthracnose is a disease affecting the crop. Some infections can develop to form cankers, which is present on the branches of the crop. Now, as we read before, or as we discussed before, diseases usually is defined as an abnormal or a dysfunction of the plant due to an external influence. Now, this is where the cankers and the lesions come into play on the leaves, stems, and fruits. Now, some symptoms usually assisting in identifying of the anthracnose, whether it is present in the crop or not, is visible small lesions or sunken lesions, mostly circular, not irregular shaped, but mostly circular. They can sometimes be black on the leaves, on the crop, fruit, or on the stem. Now, the tissues around the lesion appeared water soaked and soft. If it is possible and you touch around the lesions, you can feel the softness of the fruit. The lesion usually increase in size as the stage of the crop advances. Now, the management of anthracnose usually is that the crop should be planted in well-drained soils to prevent waterlogged soils, to prevent excess water in the soils. Crop rotation is usually recommended. Also, fungicides which have a high copper base is usually recommended. And remove infected plants, fruits from the field, or even burn the worst case scenarios of the infected plants is usually recommended. This is to avoid the spread of the disease to the rest of the crops, and it would reduce crop yield. So if these are done, you can stop the disease and the spread of the disease through your field.